Now, by placing one chip directly on one number, there's an example just there. All right, now, if that number comes in on the actual wheel when that ball drops and you've got a chip just there, you would get 35 chips back plus your original stake, ante, whatever you want to call it. Now, if you don't want to do that and you want to sort of spread your odds out a little bit, you can cover two numbers. It's what's called a split, and you place a chip either on the horizontal or the vertical line that separates the two numbers. Here's an example. We're covering 13 and 16. You can also cover 16 and 17, or maybe even 16 and 19 by placing a chip. There's an example just there. So the odds go right the way down to 17 to 1. Basically, on the actual layout itself, the more numbers you actually cover, the lower the odds actually get. Next is a street. And it ain't the sort of street you walk down either. No, it's three numbers. There's an example, 19 to 21, it's 11 to 1. You can cover a street anywhere between 1 and 34. You can also do 0, 1, 2 and 0, 2 and 3 at the top part of the table as well, 11 to 1. After that, we've got a corner. You put a chip on the actual cross that separates all four numbers. If any one of these four numbers were to come in and you've got a chip just there, you win 8 chips back and you get to keep your stake. Last but not least, if you push two streets together, you get a 6 line. The more numbers you cover on the table, the lower the winnings get. Actually, they go down to 5 to 1. The table is split up into 3 blocks of 12. So we've got the first dozen, which goes from 1 to 12 just there. Let's highlight. The second dozen goes from 13 through to 24 over here. The third and final dozen is 25 through to 36. It excludes the 0, which is a different shade at the top end of the table. Now, if any one of these 12 numbers between 25 to 36 were to come in, you would get 2 chips back on top of your stake that you've already put down there. Now, the columns work the same way as the dozens. The first column goes from 1 down to 34. The second column goes from 2 to 35. And the third column is 3 to 36. Let's finally have a look at those even chances down here. Now, just for demonstration purposes, I've made all those chips vamoose off the table. Now, it's a great way of actually covering a big block of numbers with only one chip. Just like the dozens and columns, you are covering a big block. Here, you're covering 12. On the even chances, you're actually covering 18 numbers. Again, it excludes green 0, which sort of hangs off the end over there. So the low numbers is 1 through to 18, just there. Opposite that, we've got the high numbers, which is 19 through to 36, just there. Again, another 18 numbers. You've got 18 evens, 18 odd, 18 red and 18 black numbers in each one of these sections. So, for instance, let's have a look at black. If you've got a chip just there on black and a black number comes in when I spin the real wheel just there, you would basically double your chips. You'd win 1 chip on top, but a great way of actually covering a big block of numbers. Minimum 5 here on the even chances, dozens and columns. Okay, the table is closing in 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's spin.